and an executive on what happened with Tony Romo on Monday night.
Do you want to play the executive?
I will play the quarterback.
Okay.
There's supposedly protocols in the NFL these days to protect players from themselves, because players will always want to go back on the field, especially if there's just minor pain, which in this case, that's what it sounds like in terms of Tony Romo, that it was all about pain management and everything else. And now we've come to realize that it's much more than that, with possible 2 broken bones in his lower back. Think about this for a moment. If you are the player and you go into that locker room and the owner is hovering over you with the doctors, and the doctor's looking at the owner, what do you think is going to happen? They're going to basically say you can play. And then that said owner goes out on the field and tells his head coach in front of millions of people watching and all those hundreds of thousands of 100,000 people that are in that stadium that your quarterback's good to go. So if you're Jason Garrett, what do you do?
Well, and Boomer raises a point. You and I grew up in this league at a time where if I had $1 and if you had $1 for every time you heard the line, can you go?
Right.
Can you go? Or I would hear, can he go? Can he go? Can he go? We thought we'd grown away from that a bit, but
we haven't. And here's the thing. Twice in my career, I was in this situation. Once I was playing out in L.A. We were playing against the Raiders, and I think Greg Townsend sacked me. I go into the locker room. The Bengals do not have an internist. They have some sort of orthopedic doctor there. There's an internist.
I remember that sack.
Right, that comes into the locker room representing the Oakland Raiders, or the L.A. Raiders at this point in time. And that doctor says to me, oh, you shouldn't play. You shouldn't play. Of course I shouldn't play, because Al Davis doesn't want me to play. So I don't play that game. The second time it happened to me was when I was a Jet quarterback in 1995. Pete Carroll was my coach. And Pete Carroll said to me, look, we don't think that we have to play you. I'm coming off of a high ankle sprain that was a good 6-week injury. We had lost the previous 2 games, and our backup quarterback, Jack Trudeau, wasn't really playing that well, did not play well in this 3rd game against the, I want to say the Indianapolis Colts. And Pete Carroll said, I need you dressed on the sideline. The players just need to know that you can play. And I'm like, all right, I'll play, or I'll dress. 2 series into the game, he says, you're in.
Wow.
I could not protect myself, but we won the game 6-3. I'm not saying that I was a hero, but I felt the pressure of having to go in there and play.
Look, there's really 2 issues when I was watching this game about putting Romo back in. One, and we talked about this earlier, from a football efficacy standpoint, I don't think you put him back in. Whedon's leading the team. He's moving the offense. They're scoring. I don't think you put him back in from a football standpoint. But from a health and safety standpoint, you just said it, and Layla Ali said it last week on We Need to Talk. Competitors want to compete. Layla talked about it, Lisa Leslie talked about it, and Layla said sometimes there has to be someone who throws the towel in for an athlete.
That's
and you know what?
Line.
If anyone is qualified to talk about a boxing analogy, it's Layla Ali. And on We Need to Talk, Layla said, sometimes to protect the competitor from himself, you need someone to throw that towel in for him, or in her case, for her.
And that's the question.
That's the problem.
That's the issue.
That's the problem. We're all the way back to, can you go? Can you go? Can he go?
And you have an owner, Jerry Jones, of his personality in that locker room. Came down from the box after being interviewed, ran into the locker room, then ran out onto the sideline. All the people that he is touching, just by his presence, lead them to believe a certain thing is wanted from him.
And I don't blame Jason Garrett, because you're in the throes of coaching a game and you get